What's up, guys? It's your boy Carson Amani. We're back with another episode of Elite Insights, and today I am joined by two queens that I've been able to enjoy working with and collaborating with. We have Miss Rosy, Miss Ja in the house. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Good. How y'all doing?
So happy to be here.
Man,
Definitely.
of course, of course. Thank you for making the journey. I feel like we've been talking about this for a minute in terms of getting you guys down here to share a little bit about the work that you're doing. Obviously, I get to be right there and see the impact and hear the stories. But that's literally why Elite Insights is here to help amplify those voices and share some of that. So if you guys don't mind, I know you guys, but can you guys introduce yourselves to the people of who you are and what you guys do?
Yeah, for sure. My name is Rosy, and I work at Byrd Barr Place, and I am the development and communications coordinator. So handling all social, digital advertising, things of that nature, and counting the money too.
Come on.
And I am Jacqueline, but everybody calls me Ja. I am Byrd Barr Place's community engagement and events coordinator. So I am out in the community, and I'm also the one behind all the magic that our events make.
Excellent. Yeah, and magical it is. I always like to also chime in. And Rosie, can you bring your mic just a little bit closer? I want to make sure people are hearing these gems you drop in.
All right.
And make sure you're sounding silky smooth. Just, treat it like it was karaoke. Come on. We'll get into that a little bit later. We'll get into that a little bit later. But I always like to also then jump into what led you guys literally to this couch on, how did you first hear about Carson Amani or Elite Collective, and what was that like? You guys remember your first, how I came across your desk or your table?
Yeah. I feel like we were leading up to Block Party and our gala last year, and it was our first time doing both of those things. And we had like a round table where we invited all of the people that we were going to be working with, like our marketing firm that we were working with, and also audiovisual and our event producers. And so we just all sat down, and you came in with the energy. You came in like
The energy.
prepared, ready to go. You had your pitch. You were like, this is what I see for a gala. This is what I see for a block party. And I had just started at Byrd Barr Place. So it had been maybe like 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month at that point. And I was like, okay, well, I'm jumping in. He's jumping in, and let's get it going. So it's been a match made in heaven ever since.
For real.
No, that's dope. No, I appreciate that. So honestly, I'm trying to remember as well. So did I even get invited to that prior to you even starting, or like?
Yeah. So
Or was that Rosie thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I started at Byrd Barr in 2023.
Okay.
And so got things going, and then I was like, we need somebody to do events. And I was like, my homegirl is going to like skyrocket with that. So brought Jack in, and then we actually reached out to Converge Media first. And then
Shout out to Converge.
Yes, shout out to Converge. They were like, actually, I think Elite Collective is going to be the best move for y'all. So I believe that's how you like actually got brought in. But I just want to say, I remember you from back the Flavor days.
Come on.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, like y'all used to throw events, and it was lit. So
I remember a party or two in my time.
Yes, sir.
For those of you that don't remember, FLVR flavor was the movement. What's your flavor? But yeah, no, same type of deal. Just providing just fun events to connect folks, and that's like a lot of where I got my event kind of know-how. And at the end of the day, it's like it's all user experience, right? Is what it boils down to. And I'm able to take that. Shout out to Converge with Omari, but even his brother Kun from C Spot is where I started doing events and shooting them and helping to throw them eventually and those kinds of things. But one thing I always notice is like, what do you want that vibe to be, right? How do you want people to connect with whatever event that you're doing? So when you mention like, hey, I come in with the plan and stuff, it's like, it's just one of those things where, hearing about like the initial email that you guys had sent out about what you guys were doing, how you wanted to kind of re-invite the community to, post COVID. I think that was like the first gala since COVID and things of that nature. So for me, it's just like, yeah, you want to connect with the people, you want it to be high scale, and it was just kind of easy, for me to see it in that sense. And I think that's where I enjoy, and kind of where I personally and Elite Collective can thrive is just in connection with organizations that are connected with community.
I was just going to say, you understand the community.
Yeah.
Like, that is, to me, that is so key, because we don't have to waste time explaining to you.
Yeah.
Like, we just say what our vision is, what the goal is, and then we're off running. So I appreciate that.
No, I appreciate it. I think the professional term is cultural competency.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
And it's a real thing of
truly.
just, and it goes in multiple ways. Sometimes I'll step into a culture that I'm unfamiliar with. And, my thing is like, if you want to succeed, you got to do your research. It's not like you can't, go into new cultures, because, even subcultures within, right? You got folks that might move out here from the East Coast, and the community is a little bit different and may move in a different way. And what you are used to, may show up differently, where at the center is still love, but it might be communicated in a different way and show up, especially, being in a city where, we might be 9% or 12% on a good day, where if you're coming from Atlanta or a DC and you're, 80s, 90s or whatever, it's going to show up a little bit different. Right. But it's like, we small but mighty is what I like to say out here. But yeah, no, it's just a matter of, doing the work. And if you want to be a part of, is like, man, show up, and you go into other community events and just being around. And for me, I just kind of was able to spend my early 20s like growing up in events that were already being thrown and going to these things. And I was in places way younger than I was supposed to, but doing the photo thing, it just opened up a lot of stuff. So I was doing like, the target demographic was probably 35 to 45 when I'm like 19 with a fake ID, but going to like comedy clubs and different things and things of that nature. And right before COVID, I was like one of the youngest people to join the Royal Esquire Club and things of that nature. And for me, I just love just being around people and things, it just always interests me, just hearing the stories where it might not be the way I would do something, but just being a part of it, like, oh, this is kind of cool. I like that vibe. Maybe I can take a piece of that and add it over to something. And then now I'm in my 40s. I'm really big into intergenerational, right? Where it's like, how can we create something that can bring the youth in, but still have room for elders? And can I still have a good time as myself and folks like me as well? So whenever I hear about events like that, it really brings me joy, because it's like, okay, cool, we get to do everything. We get to bring out all the stops. And in that nature. So no, that's dope. Before we get into too much more, I want to folks and give you guys just a little platform where, again, I get to work with you guys at Byrd Barr Place, hear the stories. We worked on an impact video for your gala last year. But folks that don't know, like, who is Byrd Barr and what do you guys do over there?
Oh, okay. Do you want to start?
Sure. So we have been around since 1964. We first started off as camp, community.
The community
Central
action,
Central area
motivation program.
Excuse me, elders. I know. I'm sorry. But we changed our name about 2018 to Byrd Barr Place. It's named after Roberta Byrd Barr, who was a champion in the community. She had her first TV show, like first Black woman TV show in Washington. And so what we do, we offer assistance programs. We have a food bank we call the Market. We also have energy assistance programs. We also have financial empowerment classes and courses. And on our website, there's a lot of free information about just how to budget, things of that nature. And then we also have started strategic initiatives. We've always been in the advocacy space. However, now it's more specific to things that we really want to lean into, just like the down payment assistance, home ownership, things of that nature.
Yeah. I mean, we are doing a lot of things to just kind of bring economic stability, but also development into Black Seattle.
Mhm.
I think a big mission of ours is bringing people back into the Central District. So many of us have been like displaced
Mhm.
from gentrification, and the neighborhood once used to be 96% Black, and now it is like what,
I
like
think 8.
8%.
Yeah.
So seeing that happen in not a lot of time, like we're talking
Okay.
about 2 decades, and that number has diminished greatly.
Mhm.
It's really important for us to like continue the legacy of what was started in the Central District, and yeah, like Roberta Byrd Barr is a great person to be named after that. She was Seattle's first Black female principal for the
Mhm.
Seattle school district. And then we are just doing a ton of research initiatives, some stuff around health equity, some stuff around guaranteed basic income. We're trying to really push the envelope and really think outside the box.
No,
For sure.
that's dope, and it's needed, right? And I love that. One of the things we were tossing around earlier this year was legacy in action. You know,
Mhm.
that was something that was dope. And what's the newer version of that?
It's legacy in
In
motion.
Come on.
motion.
Yes.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And that's real. It's like one of those things where it's like it's fantastic to look back and
For
see
sure.
accomplishments, right? But it's one of those things where it's like we also can't live in the past,
Yeah.
and we have to acknowledge these new realities. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, we don't have to be victims or just passengers of the new reality or wherever our
Yes.
situation is. You know, you have people that work at places that do the advocacy work, but at the core of it's people. Like you guys
Mhm.
have a bunch of just awesome humans that are super dedicated to what they do, and I been able to do that as we view a day with the food bank and seeing
Mhm.
all the folks and how they engage with community, and it's just like, man, it's just all hands on deck, and they
Yeah.
make it happen. And then same deal, hearing the delicacy, right, around helping someone that needs electrical assistance,
Right.
right? That's not easy. We're all in that place where it's like, man, I got that bill.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I don't know where it's going to come from, but just knowing that there's someone that can help, having that empathy that
Mhm.
goes around it. And I feel like y'all do that with care for real.
Thank you.
Um, and again, just wanted to have that platform because a lot of folks, and I deal with this, say this almost every episode, where people know you how they met you, right?
Oh,
And
for
and
sure.
folks with Byrd Barr, same kind of deal, where they might know you for the food bank because
Yeah.
that's just how they were met or introduced. Maybe they volunteered, maybe they were folks that received some of that support, but did not realize other things that you guys do. Like, oh shoot, you guys could put me on a track to help me buy my first home.
For sure.
Like
Yep.
that's like a real thing, right?
Yeah.
That's going on, and folks that want to learn more around healthcare. You guys had your first health clinic or
Oh,
Our health fair.
yeah, health fair,
yeah.
right? And
Yes.
that was dope, and a bunch of resources were shared, and all these things, and yeah, so it's just one of those things of wanting to be able to create that platform and allow that space for you guys, because I literally know how it is when you want to give so much more and people just don't know that you have it
Yeah.
to give, right? So yeah, we'll definitely chop that out for social to let people know, like, yo, we do this too.
Yeah.
Check us out,
Yes.
tap in. Ton of resources on, like you said, on the website, for things that are either happening, did happen, resources around classes or other things that people want to learn more. And then more on the job side of things in terms of events. Definitely want to tap in. We just got done with July 12th, of the second annual. I hear annual at the end of it now, and I love to hear it. Meaning we're gonna be back next year.
That's hard work.
But the second annual block party, um, which I think was amazing. But let's tap into um, year one,
Mm-hmm.
right? Last year of what got you guys to that point of wanting to do one. Why was last year the moment to do it? And partly because we talked a little bit about this off camera, where there might be another community org or folks that want to do something, right,
Yeah.
and not know if it's possible or whatnot. And again, like, you guys same deal. Like you guys are a small but mighty team, and it was like, yo, this is something we want to do, and made it do it. But I'm hoping some folks can get some motivation and some ideas around what you guys share today. But tap into a little bit about like how the block party even came as like an idea, and like, okay, we want to push it forward, and just kind of like that journey.
So I'll start. I would say that first we have to think about, well, we have to acknowledge the previous ED that was there. She did an awesome job keeping the doors open. They purchased the building. And then our current CEO, Dr. Angela Griffin, she started like the middle of the summer, the previous summer, 2023. So one of the things she really wanted to do is bring back events. That was like she wanted to bring back the community into the actual building. So that was the beginning vision, just having people coming back to back to the building. And then someone threw out a block party, and I think that it just snowballed from there. And then Jack came, and it was like, all right, let's get it.
Yeah. Yeah, when I came on board, like it was very much like it was an idea and a concept, and I knew that we were celebrating our 60th anniversary, and they had things kind of lined up. Like we want to do a block party, we want to do this panel, and then we want to do a gala. And when I started, it was like, okay, some of the pieces were in place, but a lot of work still needed to be done to kind of like pull everything together and just really round out the storytelling around what block party would look like and feel like. And so, as soon as I was able to jump in and work with my team, Rosy, and our director, our impact director at that point, but now our director of strategic initiatives, it was like, okay, how do we make this engaging? How do we get people to come out? So, the directive that I was really given is like a cookout type, family reunion type feel. And I just took that and ran with it. We really just did all of our branding and marketing to like reflect that, like a cookout type feel. And then also making sure that the content of the block party also reflected those things. Like us doing t-shirts with the date and all of that, like a family reunion style t-shirt. And vendors, how we selected our vendors, how we selected our food vendors. So we just wanted people to really come and feel like they were amongst a community and also like a family vibe, like bring your family out, have a good time.
No, that's dope, and that was definitely the vibe I got, and everything you're talking about. It just sounds like user experience, right? When if you think of it from like a technical kind of term, where it matters, like the folks that come out, what do I want them to experience when they're here, right? And I think with events like that, there's a a checklist kind of involved, right? It's like what's going to be, and again, it depends on your target demographic, but I would say for our community, I'm always looking at, how are we going to entertain? I feel like, entertainment is kind of like at the core, even if it's, a family get together on a Sunday, right? You're still going to have music. There's still going to be something going
watching the games on.
Right. It's going to be something going on. I feel like that helps bring us together. And if you want to deep dive, I'm sure some folks can go into the psychology around it, but I'm sure a lot of it is just because of the stress that just happens in life, right? Just living as a Black person, a brown person, a woman, LGBTQ, any of these others, right? Type of people, where it's like, okay, if I'm going to come to something on my own time, where can I go that, I feel, safe, right? It's a safe place that I can show up. But beyond just being safe, it's like, man, what can put a smile on my face? Where can I go that joy is going to be there? And then how can we
hair down?
Right, exactly. Like all those things. And I feel like that was some of the intention that you guys either knowing or unknowingly put into the ingredients of what became the block party, where it was like, all right, there's going to be some entertainment. We're going to have some music, some live entertainment, which is dope because it's also you guys pouring into creative economy, right? Where it's like, especially coming out of COVID, a lot of entertainment suffered, right? Like you couldn't do a show, you couldn't do a live performance. You know, you had a lot of people, you know, recording a lot of music at home, but you know, being able just to be in space and with people. So you provided that platform, and then it's like, all right, we also want stuff for kids to do, and you know, we had some bouncy houses, and I think that was the first time I saw a dunk tank in a while, right? And I was like, okay, I'm here for it. I pray for whoever got to sit there, but I don't know how you guys choose that, but brave souls, right? But that was cool to see and see how the kids and community just light up, you know, doing something like that. And then obviously food, right? You know, something that, you know, we want to be able to have, and it was dope to just see a variety. You know, I love that, and that's one thing I love about Seattle is like, man, we got a lot of good food, but a lot of good different type of food, right? And it was dope to see. So yeah, you know, your traditional barbecue, but you also had your taco truck and you know, hot dog station, and like it was just hidden just to be able to see that, and then just all the other vendors that were kind of mixed in between. But then in addition to that, it was like, by the way, we also got these services, right? You know, we're going to be able to get people signed up. Like, did you know? So we're going to feed you. We're going to entertain you. We're going to provide some local economy with these vendors and stuff. But at the same time, we also have these resources for you guys. And I feel like you guys kind of tackled all of that into one with year one. And
I just wanted to say that I think that it's really important to mention that myself and Jack, we're from Seattle.
Come on.
And we're Black from Seattle. Yes.
So, 10 toes all the way down.
I grew up in the city. So it's very important for us, to, like you said, for those things to reflect where we're from. Last year, the headliner was a rapper from Seattle, Gifted Gab. This year, our headliner was Royce the Choice. Like, we are, like you said, tapping into homegrown things. And I think that's what made it so exciting and just like feeling like you're at home, because there's things reminding you, okay, we still have culture in Seattle. So I had to say that.
No, and I appreciate the intentionality of it is key. And then that got us through last year. So we got the block party, got through it as the first one, right? And we got through it. You know, obviously you get to learn from every event.
That was learning for me.
But I feel like the user experience though was all high. You know, after it's all done, we can always look like, oh, you know, we should have had more water, or you know, all the things, right? But as far as from a user experience, like, yo, there was nothing there prior to, right, the year before. You know, again, I kind of look at it like a hard restart of COVID. So coming out of COVID, you know, there wasn't, that hadn't been done before on 18th and Cherry, and that was dope to see you guys just show up and let community know, like, hey, we're here for you. Let's bring some joy out and make that happen. And then that led into the next event. Can you tell us a little bit about that? It was kind of like a community conversation type of deal.
So the panel we had last August that was a part of our series of anniversary events was the Blueprint for Change. And it was based off of a assessment that was designed by, I want to say, I can't remember her name right now, but I want to say her name is like, she's like a PhD holder. Her last name's Wolf. But she was the designer of this assessment, and it was really designed for nonprofit organizations to evaluate themselves and to determine whether they were creating barriers to access their resources. So there was a great conversation, a lot of EDs from nonprofits across the Seattle area, including the Rainier Beach Coalition. Also, we also had Right Size, who did our facilitating. And so it was nice to just sit down and have some of our like leading intellectuals and leaders in the community discuss what philanthropy should look like for nonprofit organizations and foundations, but also like, how do we create more access to the things that we're giving out? We tend to, or, you know, it's people that are trying to get resources tend to be framed in a certain stereotype of being not responsible, or being not educated, or not just doing enough to get themselves out of their circumstances, which is why they need help. And oftentimes different organizations will create all these different barriers or, loops that people have to jump through just to get a little bit of assistance. So the Blueprint for Change really challenges that and asks organizations to really rethink their process of how they bring their clients in and making that easier for them.
Yeah, and specifically the philanthropic side, like the grants and the ways that they, like Josh said, the way they give out money, but like all the different deliverables that you have to give. And sometimes nonprofits only have 2 or 3 people, i.e., us, who have to report on those deliverables. So that takes away from the time where you're boots on the ground and actually doing the work. So that was really instrumental to learn about and hear about, to know that it's almost as if they're pitting the organizations against each other, because it's like, okay, who can get this done the quickest, but sometimes it's like I wear 50 hats, so I can't do it all. So it was very insightful to hear from the ED's perspective, but then also there were people in the crowd that were sharing their perspective, and that was very monumental. And shout out to Wow Gallery. We had it there. It was a beautiful event.
Yeah, no, that was a dope experience, and we got to come in, like from our angle. It's like, how can we support, right? I'm always looking at, where put some paint where it ain't, you know what I mean? In terms of like, all right, what do you guys already have, and what are you missing? I think for that one, we came in to support on the AV side. Like you said, there's a lot of, in a room like that, jewels are bound to be dropped, right? So you got EDs, you got community members, leading thought leaders around, and we're able to record. I think you guys put it on YouTube, or I feel like we didn't live stream, but we had it available for folks to see, and then also just to be able to retain, and to be able to rewatch internally as well, just to kind of get a breather, because sometimes we go to these conferences or these things, and like you get energized for a day or a weekend, but you kind of lose it, but whenever you're able to capture it, it's like, yo, we can kind of reflect on those kinds of things, and that was dope, what you guys put on, and again was purposeful. I remember you guys saying like, no, we want to have it at a Black owned space, and obviously Wow Gallery is amazing, and then and then it just it fit, and it was really on brand with what you guys was trying to do with that, and then that was the second of the three, going into the 60th, and after that was the gala. Tell me about that journey.
Yeah, our 60th Diamond Gala.
Come on, 60th. Not a lot of folks make it that far.
No, I know. It's one of the like touch points that when I'm out in community and I talk about we've been around for 60 years, people are always kind of taken aback to hear that a nonprofit organization that's grassroots has been around that long. And so that's why it was really important for us to like celebrate that milestone,
for sure, and
acknowledge the history of Byrd Barr Place camp and like bridging the gap between past and present. So a lot of like, I think when I came on, like our theme was set, and our like we were and everything else still needed to be developed. So the program and what that whole look and feel was gonna be. We had a beautiful venue space. We had it at the Fairmont Hotel last year, which is like a historic Seattle
landmark.
Hotel. It's like over 100 years old, and they have a lot of the original fixtures and like wood carving and the stuff in there. So it just
they don't make it like that anymore.
Yeah, it served as like a beautiful black backdrop to just the overall feel of the night. So we wanted to honor past EDs, past board members, longtime volunteers, everybody that has helped make camp / Byrd Barr what it is. So it was a great night of just recognition, and then of course like the highlight of it all is that our special guest was Angela Davis.
Come on.
So it was like amazing. Like I have
the one and only
loved Angela Davis. Her biography is amazing. If you haven't read it, please do
it.
And so I never thought I would meet that lady.
Okay.
But being able to meet her and then just to hear her and still hear that passion and that fire in her, it was really inspiring. Like I think for the whole room, but definitely for me. So
Yeah, I mean, my friend, my homeboy that I took, he was we were at the table. He was getting out his seat, like, yeah, right on. But that event was so fun and beautiful. To see all the Black folks in the room dressed beautiful, dressed to the nines.
Yes.
Like everybody came, like they followed the theme. Like I put out the lookbooks, so I was like very impressed that I saw some of the looks that were in the lookbook there at the night. We had great dessert. We had a dessert dash, and that was actually really funny to see people running getting
Oh,
desserts.
yeah, it's
but
not a
with
game. People
yeah,
take the
no,
dessert dashes very seriously.
very serious. And we actually made some really good money on the dessert dash.
We made great money.
Yeah. And yeah, it was so beautiful to see the Black joy in the room, like, and to acknowledge those people that helped camp / Byrd Barr Place, to be where it is now, to go from, having to beg to, have that space and to rent it from the city for so long, and now we own the actual firehouse. Like, that's a big deal. And then to go on to put things in place in the community as well as in the government. Like, I feel like our sorry, I'm kind of rambling.
No. Good.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, I feel like our CEO, that is like a big goal of hers, is to make sure, like, statewide Black folks, we understand what the need is for statewide, like, Black folks in the statewide.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that night. It was just like a jumping off moment for us, though. Like, I feel like it really just started for people to see in the community, like, oh, they're serious about, like, Blackness and how we need to come together, regardless of what organization you're at. It doesn't matter. Like, we're Black in Seattle, and we need to come together for our people.
Yeah. Like, you can't have community without all the members and all the players. And there are so many other great organizations that are doing great work in the city, and they were all out and represented at our gala. And you're selling tickets $200 a pop. To be able to go into a room and all majority of the faces are Black, like, that's great. It's amazing, and it we can't wait to do it again.
Yes. No, absolutely. So I'm just trying to think of it wasn't the first gala, but it was the first one in a while.
In 5 years.
Right.
Yeah, they previously did it every 5 years.
Okay. And so you guys had a little bit of a history. I always like to share, like, with folks that are thinking about, hey, are we ready for doing a gala? Maybe they're doing a luncheon, or maybe they're doing a breakfast, or doing something of, like, when do they make those jumps? Because I know there's investment involved in being able to do it at a place like that. But there's something that can be said when, like you said, like, you guys, it was a statement of an evening, right? Where it's like, hey, we are here, we are Black excellence, and this is how we're showing up in and for community. And I'm just trying to help with people that may be on that fence, right? Of what helped you guys in the rooms talking amongst yourselves of, like, hey, it's time to do it. I know you guys had the 60th. I'm sure that was like a big piece of it. But just being able to be like, okay, we're ready to do it at this level. What was some of those conversations like?
So again, I want to bring up that all the leadership and myself and Ja, like, all of us were like a year or like 6 months in when all of these things were like, we have to do this. So
I was like 3 months in.
Okay, come on. So I want to say that I think that everybody who came into their positions just were very passionate about the goal of letting people know that we're still in the community to do what we're here to do. So I think, of course, the 60th, like, pushed that moment and why we made that decision. But I think the passion behind it was because we came in, running, and we knew that that's what we wanted to do, was a gala, and we wanted to show up and show out. So we did.
Yeah.
That's dope. And then part of it also is, like, having those partners, right? Where if it's like an event planner or someone helping you guys out with the marketing around it, or the actual event activation itself. And I think when you're at the gala level, you definitely should be playing with people that have either already doing it, or you're working with someone that has some experience around that.
And I just want to say, like, if you're an organization that's thinking about doing a gala, like, give yourself time, research, like get quotes, get like once you've established what your budget is, which should be the first step, get as much information as you can about all the different things that you know that you'll need as far as your audiovisual needs, your venue, um, food, entertainment, whatever it is that you want to feature on stage. Just make sure that you're taking the time to really vet those contracts and figure out what is best for y'all, because the goal is to raise money.
Come on.
So you don't want to like burn yourself on the front end spending a whole bunch of money, and then you're not able to bring it in on the back end. So it's like, have a very like clear idea of what it is that you want to do, and a very clear budget of how much you can spend, and then just go from there. And build on those ideas.
No, I love that. I would throw in an extra thing of like, go to these events, right? One is just good to support other organizations as they do, and a lot of times with the different ones I go to, like, oh hey, that's so and so from, and that's important to just to show that camaraderie of support, right? But then also, if you're at that point of thinking of throwing something, you're going there with a mental notebook, right? Of like, man, what did you like about it? What I tell folks is like, hey, think of like the last 3 things that you went to, and it could be a birthday party, you know what I mean? It could be a nice dinner, or a gala that you went to. And if you think about it, like, what did you like about it? Like, oh, the food was really, really good. Like, I just really like the food. And, you'll be surprised of like how, if the end goal, like you said, is to raise money. When I tell people, it's like, everyone's showing up there with the intention of giving money. Now it can go, how much they're going to give can go up or down depending on the experience, right? And sometimes it can be subconscious, right? You just go in and the chicken's a little dry and cold. While you're taking bites, your wallet's getting a little tighter, you know what I mean? And it's just like, I don't just feel like giving as much. Or like, you go into a room and, just something just kind of off with it. Maybe there's no centerpieces, or, and again, not everything needs it, but there's some places where you could just tell that not a lot of thought went into it. And it's like, well, if you don't care about your event, why should I care about your event? And things of those nature, right? So again, not like you have to, everything needs to be just crazy with a crazy spread, but those little things can help, right? Where it's like, oh, some thought was put into this. And then subconsciously, that's part of it. And it's like, hey, are you going to have a professional MC, right? Versus I see some orgs where, hey, we just thought, our communications person can just do that part, where it's like, hey, that's not their lane, right? Unless you're just blessed where like on the side, they also host, open mic night, and that's just, that is their lane. But more often it's like, you can get so much more out of having a professional MC, that's what they do. They get the folks engaged and help move along the evening, can help out in those times where it's like, oh wait, we need to do something in the back end, and we don't have the numbers yet, or whatever. They can buy time for you, so it's not awkward, right? Those kinds of things of having some kind of musical element, where there's thought behind that, where for us from the AV side, sometimes we'll have some playlists of, hey, just play some background music, cool. But if you have like a DJ or a band, like those kinds of things can elevate the experience as well. And then depending on your event, if you have an auction or not, having that professional auctioneer can, like, I've literally seen an auctioneer make or break an event, where it's like, yo, these were like very similar rooms, had very similar crowds, type of people, but they raised way more money because their auctioneer was that much better, right? And it's those little things as well. So, go on to what you said is like, start off with like a budget, like what can we spend, and what does that look like, and you got to start somewhere, right? So it's like, I would say gala level is probably around, again, depending on who your crowd is, but usually starts off at about 250 people. I would say like it's deserved of a room at a hotel or convention or a nice space or whatnot, and you're ready for that plated dinner and that ask and that entertainment value. But then it can go from there. We had the pleasure of working with UNCF, and they had grown theirs to the point of 1,000+ people at the convention center, right, when that first opened last year. And that was dope to be in that space and activate a room of that size. But a lot of the same ingredients were still there. it's like the diligence around the ambiance, like what's the vibe, the lighting, the decorations, and all these kinds of things that you guys put in into yours. So like, yeah, just with that is, come up with the budget. Whatever your number is your number, and that's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
And you can build, from there, and then figure out what you like, what you don't like by going to other places. And oh man, I really like the way that they did their lighting. Can we do something like that? And all those kinds of things, right? I think a theme is really good because that can help you kind of fine tune your vision. Because like, all right, I want a gala, I have a budget, but then like, where do I go from here? And
Right.
establishing a theme could kind of help you decide what color, tablecloth do I want, and what are the colors in the room going to be, and all those kinds of things can go from there. But yeah, you can do a lot with a little, and
Absolutely.
and go from there.
Yeah.
For sure. So I kind of want to also tap in, from us, Elite Collective, as coming from like a AV visual media support. What was it like, working with us, and like, what did it unlock for you guys?
Man, it unlocked like we need Elite Collective to do all of our stuff in
All the teams.
2025. No, yeah, it was a great experience. Just because you yourself, Carlos, but your team is like so professional.
Mhm.
They are so great. They come in, they're on time, they early, they usually beating us there, and they are ready to go. And they know what their marching orders are. So
Yeah,
they
facts.
like that. It's nice to not have to worry about that. But just working with you directly, it's been so great to like have you as a creative partner
Mhm.
and to be able to like bounce ideas off of you, and for you to like think of those like really those things that are seem small but make such a big impact and a big difference. Like the BOGO suggestion last year was like so big. Like we were like walked into the room and seen it and was like, oh my God, this looks great. And that was something that we didn't even really think about until the last few weeks before gala. And you came in, you leaned in, helping us like fine tune our presentation, and like we had some script issues, like helping us like move past that without it being apparent to the audience.
Mhm.
So just those type of things were really, really great in terms of this was our first time, like our team's first
Yeah.
time doing a gala. So we really relied on you for a lot of that direction. And it turned out great.
Yeah, I gotta piggyback on that and say I love when like we had that big meeting and you already came with the ideas, Carlos. Like
Yes.
I don't know if you just was like, I know what they need, but you knew it. um because I love the transition of like out like in the foyer, in the cocktail area, it was like Byrd Barr Place colors. And it was very like turquoise and like our colors. And then when we went into the space, it was camp colors. And I don't even know if anybody like noticed that, but for me, it was like this is so well thought through. Like it makes me feel like I'm celebrating both, both parts of us. So yeah, I just got to piggyback and say thank you for like that creative portion that you bring. And also your team, like I always be joking with them. Like when they get there, I'm all setting up or they're setting up and I'm asking them, do they need anything? And do they know what they're supposed to do? They're like, oh yeah, I already read what it is. I'm like, oh, okay. Like this past block party, I was talking to some of your cameramen and they were like, oh, I already know the shot list. I got it. I was
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. No worries. And I love to not have any worries. Like
Yes.
that's it right there.
Yes, yes. It makes a big difference to know that like audiovisual is a huge part of an event and
Yeah.
its success and how it gets pushed out later. So to know that that's not like a worry is it's
Yes.
a huge like relief for sure.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that from you guys, and that's the real thing. Like for us in audiovisual land, it's like my best compliment is you to not know I was there, right? And then if anything goes wrong, it's all our fault, right? So it's one of these things where it's like to if you've done a good job, it's you're not noticed, just because it just goes smooth, right? It's just like it's just what's supposed to happen like that, and they don't know behind the scenes all the craziness
God.
that can or cannot happen. But that's the whole thing, is like to make sure the viewing experience, the user experience, the guest experience is on point, and they don't know, right? And to be able to, shout outs to all your guys' people that made it on stage and just kept it going, because that's what it is. At the end of the day, it's like, the show is gonna have to go on, and I'm super solution based, where I'm like, we'll figure out how to do it better next time. There's no blame game. It's just like, we're here now. How do we get to our destination? What are some solutions on how we can get there, and make that happen? I know, like, one thing was, I think we got given songs like the day of, like, oh, hey, can you guys play songs before we come on? I'm like, sure. And it's just like, I had my guy, I was like, here's the songs, make us a Spotify playlist.
And then you snuck in Kendrick Lamar. We was like, hey!
Definitely. Like that had to happen. That was for the culture. But yeah, it was just, those little things of just being able to be, because it's one of those things like, well, per our contract, it didn't state I was supposed to have this 7 days before. Man, at the end of the day, it's like, man, what's going to make my client look good, right? How is that experience going to happen? And it's good to have those boundaries and those dates, but they are flexible in the sense of, are you going to go by the letter of that and have it be a crap experience for your client? Yeah, you'll get paid, but you're not going to get called back next year. You know what I mean? And it's like, for me, it's like, I want clients, like, in my best case scenario, I got 10 clients and we just worked together for 10 years. Right. And it's just not a matter of like, all right, who's going to be my next client? And you're just churning and burning. And it's just like, it's whatever for there. I'm just on to the next. Like, now I want to develop. Like, how can we grow? And that's why it's so exciting to be back with you guys for year 2. And, a lot of people don't know, but we have a retainer. Like, we're like official.
Yes.
Like, and that's pretty,
represented,
right? Come on now. And that was something kind of newer for us. But coming out of last year, I had been hearing this over years, where it was like, especially around impact videos, right? If I could take a moment, around impact videos, it was like, all right, we have this content. Sometimes we're filming stuff, but a lot of times it's like, you guys have been doing awesome things. And it's like, oh, I wish you was with us in March when we did this thing and it was dope. And you got a couple of photos or an iPhone video or a thing. And we try to incorporate, do our best. But I was, literally hearing that every gala with everybody. And I'm like, yo, how can we work with people throughout the year? And what does that look like? And be able to not just talk, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days before an event, but man, let's tap in January and see, man, where are we at? What's the plan for the year? How can we support? And again, part of that was me not letting people know, hey, we do this too, right? Like, oh, I didn't know you guys had capacity, or whatever the whatever was blocking, right? Whatever that I want to say boundary, that's not the word, but whatever is in front of us of being able to do that. And then I think that was how we were able to tap in, and it was literally in January for King Day, I think, is kind of when it got solidified. And we have been talking about it, like, oh yeah, let's work together more, and can't wait till next year. But I think it was like, again, holidays and all this stuff, life be lifing. And we came through, and then, saw you guys tabling, and y'all was like, man, you guys gotta, Los, you gotta meet our new person, around events and stuff. And it's like, oh yeah, no, sounds good. Let's do it. And then randomly, I'm just at lunch at a table, and I see my friend Wendy that I know from other events. Like, oh yeah, what you out here for? It's like, oh, I'm at Byrd Barr now. I'm like, wait, hold on, you're at Byrd Barr? Because my girls is at Byrd Barr, and then it was just one of those things. I think you guys were telling her, oh, you got to meet Los, and it was like, wait, hold on. It was like Spider-Man moment. Like, wait, hold on, you, what's going on? And we was just chopping it up, and it literally was just kind of talking out loud, like, man, I'd love to be able to, provide those resources and be available and really get you guys what you need. Because a lot of it, like you were talking earlier, is like the reporting side of things, where it's like, yo, we got to document it so we can show we're doing the work with the funds to be able to get more funds to do the work. And, and I know it's that game. So it's like, oh, hey, if we can help you guys tell that story, or show that impact, it literally helps everybody out, because now you're able to get resources to help community, hire us to help you. Like, literally, it's a full circle moment. And then those conversations just kind of got a little bit more, a little more concrete, and you guys were able to identify your needs and put that together, and then we were able to roll that out, and that's it's been a lot of fun. I think our first one was the health fair, right?
Fair, yeah.
earlier this year, and then we just been kind of rolling. You guys got the Black Birth initiative, and some more information about some fantastic stuff around the Black Birth Bill of Rights and other things that you guys are working on within that. Wonderful stories being told, and then brought us back to Block Party Year 2.
Come on.
Let's hear a little bit about that one. So now we got one through us. You're day 2 on the job. We're like, hey, we need a block party on Saturday. It's Monday. Can I have a block party on Saturday? Can you make that happen? And you just, did your clapped your hands and snapped your fingers, and we just magically made it happen. But tell us a little bit about year 2. I know it was bigger and better. Like literally, like Los, we need that stage, and
Man,
we brought in that SL100
that stage was fire.
mobile stage, and all the crew guys setting up. They're like, this might be the tightest fit we've ever had to be able to fit, have the fire lane and all the things. Y'all that don't know, 18th and Cherry. 18th is a skinny street.
Yes.
It's not your normal Seattle street. But yeah, tell us a little bit about what went into the thoughts for year 2, second annual.
Yes.
Come on.
I think that we spent a good amount of time last year really debriefing and deciding what we really liked about year 1 and what we wanted to incorporate for year 2. But I was like, really, because I came in, like I started at Byrd Barr on May 21st. Our block party was July 20th. So because there was so much that I was like crushing into that last 2 months, I was like, no, we need to start planning this 6 to 9 months out. So I had a whole strategy. I did an event flow chart of like, you guys get this much time to do ideas. And once we have agreed on what all of our ideas are going to be, then you guys let me take it and do the execution part. So we had our kind of like, we were meeting biweekly at the beginning of the year with our event planning committee, which is myself and Rosy and a few other internal staff. And we just kind of bounce ideas. We do brainstorming. And then as we got closer to the event, it was more like, okay, so how do we execute this? So of course we have event trackers and, things to kind of capture all of the tasks. But this year for sure, we knew we wanted to do bigger. We knew we wanted to have a bigger turnout. So Rosy suggested that we move it back a week because last year we were in conflict with the Bite and Capitol Hill Block Party. And so we were like, we want our own weekend. We don't want to be competing with these bigger, more established events. So that I think was a huge, that changed the dynamics and like the energy in terms of how many people came out this year. But also, I think like, of course, like our marketing efforts and the work that Rosy does in the digital space is like so important. But I also like what I caught from interacting with a lot of our vendors and things like that is that there was a lot of excitement to come back this year. Like I started getting emails of people being like, I want to vend at Block Party in February. So that really kept me motivated to like make sure that this was going to be everything that people anticipated it to be. And you came with, I think that first meeting we had this year, you were like, okay, so this stage, like, this is what I want to bring to y'all. And I think this will be great. And we was like, yes, purchase the stage, like rent it. We are ready to go. Yeah. So, like just making those early decisions and, just having a lot of time to like drive, the event planning process and make sure all the pieces were in place. Like I had certain goals of like, we gonna have all this stuff done by this date. We going home early the day before Block Party. I want everybody to be well rested and ready to go, and to just really hit those benchmarks felt really good. And I knew within the first hour, we shifted the time too. So that was like, we did 11 to 4 last year, and I was like, let's do it 12 to 5. I think that gives people a little bit more time to get up, get going, and come out. So, shifting the time, and I just knew in the first hour I was like, oh yeah, we've surpassed what we did last year in terms of attendance, and we ended up like quadrupling our attendance this year. And to see it grow that much in just 1 year felt really good. It felt like, okay, we did a thing and we've created something that people are looking forward to.
Yeah, I just got to say that I am so proud of my friend. Like, for real, Ja, like, she's so cool, calm, and collected. Like, that's why I was like, we need somebody to be in here to do events that is going to, like, own it. And I can say that Ja has done that. And just her being so cool, calm, and collected, that really makes a difference in a space with a lot of women, a lot of female energy. Because like we're all powerhouses,
Yeah.
and we all are on top of what we do, but like also, we're like the head of our own households and all those things. So like it's really just inspiring to see Ja like take everybody's feedback and then apply it, and then here we go the next year quadrupling our attendance. That's crazy. That's unheard of. And I would just say for me, like the pain points that I had to learn from the year before with the different just like vouchers and the way people understood what they could get for free and where they can go and all those things. I think that really helped me apply to figure out, okay, how can this be more seamless? How can we at the beginning when they first step in know what this is? And so they're already having the expectation like, oh, I can go here, get free lunch. I can go here, get some water. I can go here. My kid can bouncy house and do bubbles. You know what I'm saying? I
Get
can
a backpack.
and get a free backpack. You know
Come
what I'm
on.
saying? Like, I think that having community and then having elders there say like calling people on the phone like, hey, you need to get down here. Byrd Barr Place is really doing a great event. Like to see that come back when in just 1 year, I feel like our goal of letting the community know that we're here for them completely happened this year. Like,
Yeah.
like the gala like was turning it, and then the block party this year solidified that in my eyes.
Yes, I agree. And I like take having the elders there. The elders are the first people to call me and be like, girl, I'm vending this year.
Okay.
I mean, just let me know what day to be there. I will be there. And then also they're like the first people to show up on the block. So to get that stamp from the elders like means a lot, because block elders don't play. They gonna let you know if something ain't right.
Come on.
But they're also going to celebrate you if it's done right. So just to have so many people come out and just be like, and then these are people that are the descendants of camp.
Yeah.
Or, they're like, I came here and I got my first job, or I learned how to do my resume here, or Roberta Byrd Barr was my principal. So they see those people come out and be like, this feels like how it used to feel is like such a high compliment. So,
truly. It's moving.
Yeah,
like,
we're
I almost getting emotional.
higher for ourselves.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right, which is a good thing. Which is a good thing. Growth is amazing. And again, just being able to get that reception right from community, like you said, that stamp where it's like folks was there early. They was ready. They was ready to have a good time. But I love how you guys incorporated. Okay, last year was good, but what could we do better, right? A lot of people kind of get into that mood or into like what's easy, like, oh, let's just rinse and repeat, copy paste, right? Let's just let AI do it. But for you guys, it was like, and I was in a couple of those conversations as well of like, all right, what went well, what could we improve on, and those kinds of things. And it's like, man, like I think that time was perfect of like, let's move back a little bit. And it seems like an hour, but like you had mentioned, man, just that difference of 11 to 12, meaning if I'm thinking about coming at 2 and there's an hour left, or if there's 3 hours left, is a little bit different, right? And that can get that person to make that move, because a lot of us are displaced from our traditional places, being in from the CD or South End. It's like now they're coming in from Renton, Kent, Federal Way, Tacoma, or up north or whatnot, and wanting to come back home though, right? And just being able to create space for that is dope. And then also what I'm hearing in other orgs can kind of get a feel from this is time. It seems like you gave yourself time. So it's like if you don't have the money, to just like buy all the people and all the things to just have it be done for you, if you give yourself enough time, you can kind of plan it and make the things happen. And that's what I think also led to some of the successes of this year, of being able to do that, of having that flow chart of like, okay, this is the decision, or this is when decisions can be made around ideas, but then the ideas need to stop because the thing with people is they always got something to say, and it's at some point we need to make a vote. All right, cool, we're moving forward with this plan. And I call that failure to launch, where a lot of people, they're just always thinking about it, right? And there's folks that have been thinking about doing a gala or a block party or a podcast for 3-4 years, like, oh wait, it's almost perfect. Like, it don't got to be perfect.
It doesn't.
It needs to be solid. You need to have your people around you to support it, but it just needs to move forward and then just get better. Right, just
experience is the best teacher.
Yep, just do it and then get better, right? And again, have your minimums, right? Like have your porta potties and have some food, have some entertainment, but it don't have to be like the perfect headliner or the perfect DJ or that one food truck or whatnot. But as long as you have those key components, you can push forward, and then again with time, reaching out to people ahead of time, if it's a entertainer or some kind of service provider, get them early, and then because a lot of times when people are good, they be booked up, and that's just kind of how things go. But I'm like, man, just hit us early, and then let's get you on the calendar to be able to make that happen. I'm trying to think of we talked a little bit about year 1 and year 2, and obviously it's awesome, but I was wondering if you could share a special moment or feel from year 2 that made it special or memorable in comparison to year 1.
Yeah, well, first I want to say thank you to Rosy for just that love that she showed me, and I'm also just super proud of her too, because she took on all of our communications this year, which is a lot of work in addition to her development stuff that she has to do too.
Thank you.
So we are, I think, just this year, a highlight for me was one of our like kind of last minute additions was bringing out Black Origin Plants, who is our plant lady. She like takes care of all of our plants in the building. And so it was this kind of idea that came up, like, how about we do this whole pot your own plant situation? And I was like, okay, bet, let me know. Send me an invoice, we'll get it paid, and we'll see you on Saturday. So she came out, she had a table, she like had a whole bunch of little starter plants, and some were like really easy, like it'll be hard to kill this one, and some of them were for more advanced like plant people. And seeing people walk around with their pots and their plants, and like that felt really good for me for some reason. Like it just is like, this is so cute, and people are excited to take their little plant babies home, and just to know that they came to Block Party and they were able to take that back with them, and then for that thing to grow in their house, like that is something I think just felt really good, because it's like, that's we're planting seeds literally, and we want to see them grow. So.
That was so woo woo. Oh my God, that was so beautiful though. I feel it.
I love that. I got my little succulent, hard to kill at home.
Come on.
And shout outs to her. So folks that weren't able to be there, you can imagine the block party similar to some of these other outside events where you had tents and tables, and everything was kind of lined up on either side of the block. But she was able to nestle herself in underneath this tree.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm like, this is so perfect. She had her little carpet down. I mean, it was so zen over there. I'm like, this is a whole mood.
And I told her, I was like, I don't put people over there because the tree is so low, but it was like perfect.
Yeah. It was like, I was like, I don't know if it was meant to be or planned or whatever, but whatever it is that you did, you're doing it. Okay. And I see you and I appreciate you. But yeah, no, it was dope to see. People was really involved. We had them in the photo booth. People was taking pictures with their plants and stuff. That was a move.
Yeah. One of my sorority sisters came, and she is a plant lady, and she's been telling me about this plant that she got at the block party. She's like, I'm so proud of my plant. Like, it's just doing so well. But that was so beautiful what you said. And thank you. Also, let me see. My favorite part was, so like I come from like an entertainment background. And so to like everybody on the stage was somebody I'm connected to. So it was just so lovely to see people come out of their shell. Like our host, superstar TK, she, like, that's my little baby. I've been knowing her since she was like 19, and she was doing the street team for local rappers. To see her be up there doing her thing, hosting and going through the crowd, letting people know what's going on. She killed it. I was really, really proud of her. And then to see the homie Divine Augustine, like I was doing background singing with him back for Gifted Gab, like maybe 2015, and he was so shy. Like he was so shy and like nervous, and to see him own the stage, like he built it himself. Period.
From the ground up.
Yes, like he
Every nail.
owned the stage. Yes. Okay, like that is like Prince's reincarnation. Like he is doing his thing. And then of course the Double Dutch Divas. Like you cannot have no type of outside event that's Black without Double Dutch. Yeah. Like period. So and then they get the crowd, involved. Even our host was in there talking, jumping rope. Like come on, what you don't see that. Yeah. And then of course, having karaoke. Yes. Like that was Ja's idea this year. She was like, we got to bring that back because Byrd Barr Place, we love doing karaoke. So to add that piece to it, and our homegirl Taryn is a part of your favorite karaoke duo. Yeah. And they're doing events. Check them out. To see them and like to see that in that space outside was so cool because it got the crowd really into the performances and like really wanted them like to sing their own songs. Like we had a guy up there singing like a rock song, but he has his locks. Like I was like, yes, Black people are not a monolith. Okay,
right?
I love it. And then Royce the Choice, like I literally went to elementary school with him, like to see him up on stage and like I'm so proud of everything that he's done, and to see him there and to know that like all of our connections, like me and Ja, like it was a lot of our connections there that made it what it was, and to feel so at home and to feel so much love. That was really, really my favorite part of it, to just feel the Black love and see how much everyone has grown.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, no, that was dope. And it's funny because like, oh, do you? I don't think it was you. I think you do. I do it. But someone's like, oh, Royce. I was like, it was funny because when I saw him, I was like, oh man, someone asked me if I do you, and like we had did like this whole big photo shoot down in LA together, and been knowing them for years. Probably throw that up here in a second if I could dig those ones up. But yeah, no, it was dope seeing him again in person, and Topspin held us down, DJing, and all the performers. Actually, it was my first time seeing Divided in person. We had shared a social. I saw some of his stuff. I was like, oh yeah, no, he's talented for sure. But yeah, it was dope to see the energy on stage, even from sound check. Like he's A1. If you guys are looking for some entertainment, definitely check him out. But I had kind of like an expectation of him and Royce of what they could do, and so they met that. They were dope. But for me, like something new was the karaoke, because I didn't know what to expect. Because you see, I mean, literally every city, every town in America got a karaoke something, but they're not all the same.
Come on. Right.
And I was just like, I wonder what this is going to be like. And I think you guys have mentioned, we was at Island Soul and saw it, and it was dope. But sometimes also the vibe may change depending on where, inside, outside, having a rum punch and not having a rum punch could change dynamics. Shout outs to Island Soul. But again, same, been knowing Taryn for years as well. It's dope seeing, she already reinventing herself, and it's awesome to see. But, so I had high hopes, but I didn't know what was going to happen. But then when I saw it, people engaging and having it go, I was like, oh yeah, this is a hit. Yes. You guys was on, I think our first meeting when we came back afterwards. I was like, you guys hit a home run with that one, bringing karaoke to it. Like you have to have it next year for sure.
It would have went for the rest of the time.
Right. Yeah. No, for sure.
Them, and that was like really good to see, because I didn't even know like how that was going to turn out. It was just like the concept, like I think we need to do community karaoke. And then shout out to you, Carlos, for getting us that screen last minute and making sure people.
Yeah, I remember that. I think it was a Thursday email. Yes. Hey, can we have a screen?
And I was like, Carlos, if you can't, it's okay, but if you know somebody that can get a screen. And it worked out so the audience could like read along and stuff like that. And like Rosy was saying, like people were just like coming out their shell. There was a lot of shy people that came up to sing, and that's intimidating to do that like at such a big event. And so people, it was so cool to just see people like feel comfortable enough to do that.
No, absolutely. That was it was a joy to see and have that come together. But so all in all, it's like We're thinking just doing it, right? You guys did it last year. I didn't realize it was that close. May to
Yeah. No. Yeah.
woo.
Yes.
Shout outs to you.
I got some grades from that.
But learning from that. So one is, get away from failure to launch mentality, right? It's just like at some point you got to just put your foot down and go with what you have, put your best effort forward, and then just learn from, get better, try to surround yourself with community support. You guys poured into folks that you knew, that you could depend on in terms of like musical acts and other, vendors and stuff, and start there. Start with your community, start with your people, and then again, grow from. That's the whole point, the whole idea. And then also giving yourself time. I think that was a bigger thing where it's like, if I give myself more runway, I can get a higher speed, I can get to higher heights, and take it to that level that it deserves to be at. And then also, like you said, just learning from, like, all right, let me take an analysis of what happened, what do we like, what can we improve on, and then apply that. Because a lot of times people will hear about what they need to improve on, and then they don't improve, and then like, here we go with the same thing again. Why you only got one bar and you got 1,900 people, or whatever. This scenario is, that was like a pain point for folks' events. But yeah, learn from it, get better. And I'm excited to see what we have for next year.
Yeah, for sure. And pay your people.
Oh, shout out.
I always say that.
Yes.
Like, that is like one of the best word of mouth marketing that you could do is just pay people. Yeah. They gonna be like, they pay over there. Like, so that's something that like a tenet that I hold really close in like my like event planning toolbox, is to make sure that everybody gets paid their full worth, and that they feel good. Like, they feel good with the number that they walked away with.
Yeah, no, that's big. And that just goes back to like your budget again. Whatever your number is your number. So don't overextend yourself.
Right.
I see people get into personal debt over an event. It's like, it shouldn't be that either.
No.
It's like, tone it down.
Yeah.
Let's do it at the level that you can. And then, like, this one wasn't a fundraiser, right? So it's a little bit different than a gala, but do it at a point that it is sustainable within the budget that you have allocated for the event. And then just look to get more support next year. Maybe that's a sponsor. Maybe that's a suggested donation. Again, it's different for everybody. But like you said, don't put yourself or your organization into debt or into the red over it, but pay your people, right? So it's that having that balance, is key. So super excited for next year, and we'll have time to talk about next year as of when it comes. But our next event, what's coming? If you guys could share what's on our horizon.
Yes. Okay. So we are doing our second annual. It still feels weird to say annual because I'm like, are we doing it?
Wait, that's what I heard. I was like, look, we're gonna do this 160th, and that's it. Maybe in 5 years. And the people was like, yeah, when's the next one?
Yeah.
We closed out the gala last year, and it was like, okay, we ain't gonna do another one for 5 years. And it was kind of like,
community was like, nope.
Community was like, no. When are y'all doing y'all next one? So we're bringing it back this year, and this will be our second annual gala. It has a name this year, the Legacy Emotion Gala, and our tagline for like our theme and tagline for this year is resistance through reclamation. So it's like, we are here, we reclaiming what's ours, we are letting people know, like Rosy was saying earlier, like, we have culture. We have history. We have things that we can share out with the world, both past and present, in the context of Seattle, but also in the context of just the Black community in America and across the diaspora in general. And we're having a 1920s Harlem Nights kind of theme going on this year. So I'm so excited to see how people dress up to that and play up to that. But definitely be thinking like feathers, pearls, velvet, fringes.
Luxury, baby.
Yes, very, very high lux, that speakeasy feel.
Yes.
So we're really excited about that. We are doing hints for our special guest this year.
Yes.
But I'm excited about our special guest. Like, I'm excited about, like, bringing that person into the space, especially in the climate that we're in politically and socially. Rosy, what's the hint for this week? Do you remember?
Ooh, the hint for this week is our special guest is an attorney. and they are part of the 100 Black attorneys and national attorneys. So.
Yeah, best attorneys in the country.
There we go. Yep. Yes. So I'm really excited because I'm gonna just keep it real with y'all. I did not want to do another gala. It was just a lot. It was it was a lot.
Yeah.
But our board was like, oh no, y'all doing another gala, like for real. And then our CEO was like, come on, we gonna make it work. Like she was excited, and for her to be excited is big.
Orders, I was like, I'm gonna make this as painless as possible.
I want to say that this is like Ja's love child, like the theme, the vibe. Like this is Ja was like, okay, I have these ideas, and leadership was like, great ideas, and let's do it. So I'm excited to just see how it's gonna be, and yeah, y'all come with your frocks on, okay? Get your hair did, get your shoes shined up.
And we'll put that lookbook out this year.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to do that. Actually,
that's Rosy's like wheelhouse.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yes.
No, excellent.
Oh yeah, and it's September 27th. I didn't say that. September 27th, it'll be at the Hyatt Regency in Seattle. So it's a much more modern space, but I like that because it's like a blank slate, so we get to kind of make it our own. So.
Yeah, no, excited. We did the walkthrough with you guys. Did a bunch of awesome events at the Hyatt, and this would just be another one for the books for sure. We can add a link on the description of where the people can get tickets.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, our early bird tickets are on sale right now. So.
Yeah, so I want to get make sure folks are able to check that out, get those. And then can people buy like whole tables? I know I saw like some organizations, so you can go tickets if it's just you plus one, or grab, if you got a little group or org, grab a table, because it was sold out last year, and it will sell out again.
It's gonna sell out again, and we definitely want to inspire and empower our community orgs to sponsor, because with that, we're able to highlight you as well. But then also you get to come to our VIP party, which is going to be like, it's not the rooftop, but it's like overlooking the city.
It's a dope view.
Yeah, it's a great view. And Top Spin will be back again, providing the vibe. So like Byrd Barr Place, we say that we work hard and we play hard because we have a good time. So like, think about the different ways that you can be in community with us, and not just like, buy table, buy, one of our
sponsorship levels. We have a $1,000 level. And I kind of like conceptualized that this year because I wanted to give like a dollar amount that felt feasible, that would allow for us to connect with our community partners. Like so many of our sister and brother organizations across the city like bought tables last year, but because of where our starter sponsorship level was, like they weren't included as sponsors, and I wanted to see that be different this year. So I want people, like, I want us to be like a united front, and for people to know that we're all supporting each other. So yeah, definitely tap in, get those sponsorships, and join the party.
Come on. No, I love it. And this is one of those things where, all right, you have a dope theme, and I'd like to tip my hat a little bit with the legacy. It actually
emotion / legacy in action is 100% Carlos Amani creation.
But and again, like even that idea came from conversation. Like I tell people all the time, like, look, man, I'm my best chef when I have the most ingredients. So it's just being at that table, sharing stuff back and forth, and then that's where my ideas come from. But if I was just sitting by myself trying to write it down on a piece of paper, it probably would have never happened, right? So again, it's encouraged to be around your people, and for me, like also that started early from not having these formal, like obviously we were at your guys' conference table having that convo, but in the early days, it just might be my homie that does this or that, and we might be a DJ, and someone else has a cleaning business, and someone else has whatever, and we just talking about whatever, right? And about this barbecue we want to have because we just want to do it for the homies or whatnot. But literally those just different ideas, and just being around and understanding that at that level, we're all equal, where it's just like, yo, your idea is just as valid as mine. And it, for me, it helps me get to that destination, which can be dope. So like involve your people, have those conversations, get that theme right, and get that dialed in. And then I want to kind of dive in a little bit into into like some of the things and ingredients that we have at these events that make them a little bit better. Let's talk a little bit maybe about last year, so we don't give away all the magic of this year.
Yeah, because I almost slipped.
But last year, you guys were really big on guest experience, right? When you first walked in, you had some big, beautiful letters for Byrd Barr Place, and I think 60th, because obviously it was the diamond year, and that's like a photo op, right? So for us, when we're coming from a production standpoint, we look at things like that of directly to guest experience, like, oh man, that's going to be folks going to love to take selfies there, or group photos, things of that nature. I think we have a big staff photo in front of that area, and then that's basically just went through registration. You walk up the stairs, and that's what you saw, and that's some of those big things. Like, all right, how can I capture their attention? Let them know that, man, that was $1 well spent. You got your hair did for a reason, right? You got childcare for a reason. It was worth it, and it's just like setting that stage, right? And then right after that, we had that photo op moment. And we did a little bit different for you guys this year. And we had, I think that was kind of a new thing we were introducing. We're calling it now our red carpet experience. But instead of like a traditional photo booth of, hey, let me stand at this machine. And again, we had it at the block party, our traditional photo booth, where you stand at the machine, you take the picture, you got the print, perfectly fine, works. For these galas, we always like to heighten that experience. So we have like a human photographer that is like, hey, let me get you guys together, do the stuff. And we take the picture, and then through the magic of technology, we're able to still have that photo booth experience where we can still text them that image. We're printing it on site so they can walk away with the physical thing, and it's branded with your guys' branding and all those kinds of things. And I feel like we hadn't done it a lot prior to your event, so it was kind of hard to show you guys. So you guys, I thank you for trusting and believing. I'm like, no, this is going to be dope. Let's do this. And then right on the other side of that, we had our 360 experience, which is always fun, having people go up there and have that. And again, just being able to have those dynamic things is always dope to be able to do. And then that was just part of that. So people felt like they were a part of it. They were taking pictures. And I don't know if you guys remember, I remember I was like, I had pulled Dr. Angela to the side. I was like, hey, look at those screens over there. And we had a live slideshow. So the photos that were being taken were actually being populated in a slideshow. So for the after party, we're able to throw them all up on the screen. And as people were taking pictures, it would populate. It's like, oh, shoot, that's so-and-so. I didn't even know they was here. Where are they at? Let me go find them. Because your guys' events feel like almost like a reunion anyways, right? Like, oh, I haven't seen you since last year and all those kinds of things. And it's dope how those kinds of things can happen. And those are just like some fun things to kind of elevate that experience. And then in the inside, again, we got trusted with you guys to provide the AV. So with this one, again, an elevated experience. Some venues come with really nice projectors, or their infrastructure might be there. This was one of those places where we had to bring stuff in, like dope venue, but you had to kind of dress it as venue, how you want to make it work. And we were able to set up some LED walls on either side. I think those were super impactful. Things just kind of look a little bit crisper. Whenever the budget's there and the intention is there for excellence versus like a projector, I think the walls just kind of hit it a little bit different. It just looks better. And the colors are crisper and folks just hit. That just reminds me of when your guys' impact video played on that. Your coworker that was on the video, and I remember as soon as this picture went up, like the whole crowd went wild. What's his name again?
Was it Tremaine?
I think it might have been Tremaine, but yeah, it was just, just bubbly personality, and it just hit, and what he was sharing was good stuff, but it was dope to see it. And then it's like when you have it big on a big image, it just kind of hits that way. I remember the whole room just kind of felt light and a lot of joy went across. And then like you're saying, having that logo coming from the top,
it was beautiful.
That we're able to have on that background for you guys was dope, right? Having that gobo there, and just those little things, right, that just kind of add to it. And then obviously having all the audio on stage. We had some singers. We had that fireside chat with Dr. Angela or
Angela Davis.
Yeah, Angela Davis and Sister Vivian, our town jewel. And just be able to move around with that. And a lot of it is based on what your guys' vision is. Like you guys came to us like, hey, we want to do this. And then for me, from an AV provider side, I'm like, okay, how can I most effectively do that? Keep costs down, but keep production high and be able to do it that way. Because a lot of times like I'll get competing bids where like, hey, let's look at this. Does this look crazy? Am I tripping? I'm like, yeah, no, you're tripping. They're definitely charging like 3 times as much as they should. Or it's like, hey, this is normal price for what they're providing, but what you need is not this. Like, here's where you should be, you know, have them see if they can provide this for you. Or sometimes it's like, oh, actually, Los, we want to just go with you because, you know, it's just a better fit for our needs. But that happens a lot. So it's like, you know, your first quote isn't your only quote, you know? And then a lot of times we also hear from community, they'll go into these nice spaces like, oh, I thought we had to use them. And they have this fancy word called preferred provider, where it's like, it's not like you have to use them, but they're my preferred venue. And a lot of times they got sweetheart back deals where like they get a percentage of it. And, you know, they're, you know, it is what it is. Right. But it's one of those things I've always asked, like, hey, do I have to go with that food person? And sometimes, you know, if you're at a hotel, you do have to use their food and beverage. But maybe you're at another venue that it does allow outside food, but here's their preferred venue, but our preferred vendor. But maybe you can use someone else. And, you know, and the same thing with, you know, your AV and all those kinds of things, because that can help, you know, that can blow up a budget real fast.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, and shouts out to you for last year, kind of like hipping us to that, because even I think it was down to like the Wi-Fi, like, okay, make sure that they're not charging you for the Wi-Fi. I was like, I didn't even think they would do that, but you know, like without that
per
knowledge,
user.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So without that knowledge, like you just got to pick the right people to take care of things and then trust that they're going to. So that's what I love about Elite Collective, is that we can just trust that, you know, y'all gonna do what's in our best interest.
Yes. And that's important. And I feel like it's a little rare too, unfortunately, because everybody's trying to get what they can get. They gonna squeeze all the juice out the lemon. And so it's nice to have somebody that's like, hey, if it don't have to cost you more money, then don't let it. Like, so that's important.
Yeah, no, that's real. It's like for us, again, it goes back to like, I'm looking for legacy clients. Like I want to be able to work with people over time and be able to build things together. And for me, it's like, I also know, you know, is it worth getting everything that you can today and then not have it tomorrow, right? Whereas let me take a little bit less, and that allows them to be a little bit more flexible to do other things like, you know, sponsor some elders to come or whatever it is. But then it's like they, more times than not, they respect that and anticipate that. But sometimes, you know, I have a couple, you know, clients in the past where they're just trying to get like the least of the least, you know, like, man, what's the lowest I can get Los to give it to me for? And then, but then I'm seeing them pay for like crazy stuff on the other side. Like, oh, you really needed that ice sculpture, huh? But you want, you need me to come with the low. And then the next year it's like, oh yeah, can I get that price again? I'm like, man, can we build together, or you just want to exploit me forever? Right. And then for me, it's like, I had to fire some clients where it's like, you know what? I have supported, but moving forward, this is where we need to be, because it's like, we need to grow. We need to be able to have capital to get new equipment so we can provide at a higher level, or be able to hire on team members or provide training and do all these things so we can grow together. And I think having that, just that transparency and go back and forth like, hey, here's where it's at, here's what I can do it for, is usually how I like to lead. And it's been dope to have folks like yourself, folks like Michelle Merriweather was one of the first ones that was like, no, I want to pay you what I would have paid them folks to do it. And I was like, man, respect. I'm used to giving discounts. Like, all right, I can do it for this. Like, no, what would you have charged? Like, what's full price? And you guys have been dope about that. And also there might be another thing like, hey, we don't really have it for this event. Can you do it here? But we do have it for that event, and just being able to have that transparency. And I love that you guys are very intentional about wanting to pay, you know, what we call thriving rates, market rates. You know what I mean?
I like thriving rates.
Yes, absolutely. You know, it's different. You know, Rosy, we was talking about, you know, when I had a hookup on cake ingredients, you know, at time ago, like, oh yeah, no, I can do it for you for whatever. But it's like, I mean, when them egg prices went up and this, that, the other, like, no, we can't do no, you know, $25 cakes. Like, hold on,
it's gonna be $50.
Hey, come on, you got to go up from here. But you know, that's real. But yeah, I just want to kind of end as I like to do with most things with our quick fire round where we just ask some quick questions, some quick answers,
Right.
and
I
we
don't
can.
like tests.
Yeah. No, this is what makes it fun. Just some fun short responses,
Okay.
and we'll have each of you guys go. We'll just start with you, John. What's one word that describes the block party vibe?
Community.
Boom.
Yes.
I like that. What you
Yeah.
got for me, Rosie?
Black.
There we go. Black community.
Okay.
Love it. Love it. What's the best performance or live moment of the day?
Oh, the karaoke, hands down. Yeah, for me, like that was so much fun. And people were singing. Okay, they were singing.
Well, I mean, I guess I gotta go with the karaoke because I sang. You feel me?
It's like my
So,
moment.
My moment.
When I was the
sang
star.
twice.
Yeah.
So yeah, that.
And it wasn't easy songs too. I was like, hold
Nah,
on,
it was
who's
not
that
easy
over there?
songs.
Okay. What's one moment from the crowd you'll never forget?
Hmm. I'm gonna go with the dunk tank. We had people that was volunteering to get in there. Like last year, it was like, please stay in the dunk tank, and this year it's like, I'm up here.
It's
Knock
my
me in.
turn. Yeah.
So that was really great to see people just be excited to like.
And it
get
always
in
had a
there.
little crowd around it.
Yes.
I forgot the question.
Oh yeah, no, it's like, what's one moment from the crowd you'll never forget?
Okay. The little babies learning to do double dutch.
Oh yeah, no,
Like,
they was
seeing
young.
It was so cute because, like, I'm used to like back in the '90s, like we would be outside jump roping like all the time. So to see the little babies like learning that, it's almost like a handed down.
Right. It was
It was
nostalgic.
beautiful.
The
Yeah.
recipes are not large.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. What's a go-to song for summer community playlists?
Oh, I mean,
I know last year was Kendrick,
yeah.
hands down.
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Glorilla. What's it? It's 70
Friday, 95 degrees.
Right. We're gonna go with that one.
There we go. There we go. What's your Rosie?
I mean, I'm gonna take it back, and if you know me, you know Will Smith.
Yeah.
Summertime. Like, come on, you
I was
gotta
gonna
play
say
that.
too, but
Yeah.
yes.
I like that. A little old, little new.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. And then what's something people don't realize about planning an event like this?
That it is a lot of moving parts. So give yourself a lot of time, and you're dealing with people. So anticipate that there are gonna be hiccups, and there's gonna be people that don't do things on time and show up late, or like last year, what was really dope was the Seattle Black Panther Party. They pulled up. They bought their own table, their own chairs, and I think they bought all their own merchandise, and they was like, we need a table. And somebody came and found me and was like, are they on our list? I was like, they not, but give them whatever they want.
Period.
Like, so like just stuff like that, just being prepared to anticipate needs. So yeah.
I would say, like, if there's a team, like, stay in your lane. Like, if you know this is what you are good at, and you know it's gonna like help the event, like, speak up and like stand up for yourself and be like, hey, I know this is gonna make it better. Or if you know that your teammate has the great vision, like, stand up for them and be like, nah, they got it. I'm gonna let them stay in their lane. I'm gonna stay in my lane, so that we can all bring it to a circle and get it going. So like, be a team, but like, stand on your word.
Mm-hmm.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. For me, it would be take your time, make your time, right? From just time to plan it, right? And then I love how you threw in that thing like, yo, I'm gonna be intentional about time. The day before, we gonna leave early so we can rest, because
great.
tomorrow's gonna be early
Yeah.
and tomorrow's gonna be long.
Okay.
And yeah, I started that day at 6:30, and I think I got home around 8 p.m.
I
and
appreciate you.
and it'd be like that on
Yeah.
event days, right? So it's like, give yourself time for that. What I should have done, like, tell myself this every event too, is like, the next day, make time for yourself. Get that massage, get
Yeah.
that whatever.
That's what I need to do.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And like, literally just plan it into the event.
Yeah.
I was telling Wendy, like, we should have had a massage thing here.
Yeah.
And literally, like, maybe even start them later. Like, yo, you guys can be here from like 3 to 6 or something for the people that worked all day. Cause on them things be feeling a certain
Okay.
way,
Yeah.
and it's just like the event's over, but let's still get some of the self-care in and involved and whatnot. But I think time was one for me that stood out. No, dope. But yeah, man, I just want to say like conversations like this, they just remind us that joy is a form of justice.
Come on.
Yes, absolutely.
Whew.
You know what I'm saying?
A form of resistance. What was your favorite moment?
From the event,
Yes.
for me, I had an interesting things. I brought out my drone, and I was like, that was
Okay.
one thing where I was like, last year I wish we had a drone, so I made sure to do that, and we just had this moment where I had went in to the DJ booth, and we were intentional, like, should we have a backdrop or not for the stage, and we decided not to have a backdrop so you could see through.
Yes.
And I was at the DJ and I pulled out, and it's like you see Cherry right behind her. You
Yes.
still pull out a little bit more, and you got Mount Rainier. She was looking
wow.
beautiful.
Yes.
You know what I mean? She was doing her thing
can't wait
and
to see.
out, and you just keep pulling out, and it's like here's this stage, knowing from where we came from last year
Okay.
to this, and then you pull out some more, and it's all the people, and I keep on pulling out, and it's like all the vendors and everything. It was just like, man, this is dope.
Yeah.
I love
I
this.
can't wait to see that.
Oh yeah,
can't-
no,
right.
this event
So
recap video is
proud.
about to be nice.
Yes.
Excited to share it with you guys, man, for sure. But then also like building belonging takes intention, right? And that was a big thing that I've seen with your guys' whole group.
Yes.
Wendy adding to it, and Dr. Angela from the top, just like having that, and I feel that with just being in the meetings and then seeing it, because it's one thing where people might talk about it,
Yeah.
but it's like, do you be being about
Okay.
it, right? And then you guys did show you guys show up and show out in that space. So thanks again for coming down and sharing this with us and doing the events that you guys is doing in community. Again, we had the privilege of being at a bunch of dope events, and in these last 2 years, you guys are at the top of our list of like, these are ones that
That's
we
your
enjoy to be
shoulders
out. These are ones we're excited to be about. I got some of my team members like, am I going to be on for their events? You know what I mean? Because one, they know there's going to be food.
Okay. We
It's
gonna
going to be
feed you.
good, and they're just fun. You know what I mean? Literally my whole staff, like for this one, we had the photo booth station. We had a mobile station because there's elders,
Yeah.
so we was walking around with the
Oh, I
photo
love
booth,
that.
and be able to do that. We had our interview station. One of
Yes.
my highlights was our community jewel, Don Mason, was there. For her to say an event was good because you guys was just at her fish fry, which was a
Yes.
couple of days earlier, and I had Dr. Angela had called me over. She was having a moment with her and was like, this is who you need to meet. This is who's doing all our technology. And she's like, she gave me her flyer for it. She's like, I need you next year. You're gonna do all our
Okay.
stuff for it. And then she was just talking about how if we don't we have to have a camera. And it's funny to hear it from an elder because we be talking about it about like our just everyday life, or we didn't take a picture, it didn't happen. But hearing it from an elder, she was like talking from literally a historic perspective of like, if we don't have our history, they're going to pretend like it never happened. They're going to pretend that we weren't here.
Yes.
Being on this block is important. Being in the CD is important. But she was literally saying that like, we don't tell our stories, then they're going to try to re-say it, to redo it or say like it never happened. Right. And it was funny because you guys, we already were doing an interview station, and I was like, well, you mind sharing a little bit right now so that way we could capture it? And she was like, I'm always ready for a camera.
period.
And we just, she
I
was
love
sitting
that.
down in the shade. So we moved our setup over to her
I love
so she could sit
it.
down and share her words. And it was dope. She's like, I'm always ready for one. Right before though, she was just like, my blood sugar's a little low. Shout outs to Caribbean Lemonades. When it got her a little lemonade,
Okay.
Dr. Angela got her a hot dog, and
Okay.
she was fine.
care of
And,
your
and
elders.
yeah, no, for sure.
So they be at the block party.
Yeah,
Okay.
come on. But she, shared her little piece, and it was dope to be able to capture it and literally to do it in real time.
Yeah.
Where she was like, man, we need events like this. We need to capture this. And I was
Yes.
like, man, I want to capture your story. I want to capture your perspective, right? And be able to do that. And that was dope. But then, we got a bunch of other interviews and stuff as well. And those types of things of being able to capture that, right? So we had our interview station, we had our photo booth, we had our team going around getting event photo recap, event video recap. We're running the audio station, and literally like everyone was like, man, this was dope. Everyone was, there was water, there was, as though you guys had, it was on your block, but we could go inside and use the bathroom. Like that was filthy. Or if you just needed to cool down, you had AC and those kinds of things. And it was just dope from a vendor perspective. It's like, we don't really expect much besides a paycheck, really. It's like, but the fact that those extra things were there was like super appreciated. Like, yo, guess what, guys? We got food, and able to make that happen. So you guys going above and beyond to take care of your people is always dope. So that's why you guys are a high sought after event from our crew members, because they know they're going to have a good time.
Good. Yes. Well, I'm glad to hear that. And that makes me feel good because I want people to be like wanting to be a part of what we're doing, because that just makes it easier.
Truly.
Yeah. And they all with or actually most of them left with plants, because I was like, let's make that happen. But again, man, thank you guys. I want to give you a moment. You guys got your cameras over there to share just like where people can get in contact with you if they want to volunteer, if they want to learn more about resources, if they want to donate and support. Feel free to chime in.
Well, I would say definitely check out our website, but check out our Instagram. Like our Instagram, like I'll be trying to, make sure things are up to date. And like our link tree on there is linked to positive stories. It's linked to how you can be a part of our different courses that we have going, our home ownership courses, our financial empowerment courses, also how you can donate. We shared yesterday about how all these government cuts are happening, and we are seeing even more people coming to our food bank.
Yes.
And we also have services where we take out food boxes to our elders. So like you don't have to always come to us. We're going to be there for you. So yes, check out our Instagram, which is Byrd Barr Place. Pretty much we're Byrd Barr Place everywhere. LinkedIn, Facebook. And then sign up for our newsletter. So on every page of our website, which is birdbarplace.org, you can scroll down to the bottom and sign up for our newsletter. And that'll just let you know what we're doing for the month, what happened previously, and if we're still doing it and how you can sign up. And we also have a service called Community Connector that we really want to let people know about. If Byrd Barr Place doesn't have it, we're going to connect you with an organization that does. So please know that we're here for all of your needs. And just follow us.
And we have a building that, you're always welcome.
Yes.
So, yeah. And it's BYRD.
Yeah. Yes. Tell them, Jack.
Place.
Yes. And it's BYRD because Miss Roberta Byrd Barr. That was her nickname, Byrd. So put some respect on it. It's not Beard, it's Byrd.
Yes.
Excellent. No, dope. And again, guys, thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully y'all out there got some insights and some values for folks that are thinking about doing a block party or a gala, or really any kind of event, right? Tap in with your direct community, tap in with those around you, get over those anxieties around, failure to launch, just do it and then get better. And for folks that are already doing things, already take it to that next level, like really take a look at what's my budget, and that will help dictate where you can do it, and at what level that you can do it with. And if you're ready to take it to that gala level, look at some of awesome event planners that we have in the city and AV providers like Elite Collective, and different partners that can help you, just bring your vision to life, bring it to fruition is kind of our goal. And again, it's just kind of do it with the intentionality of being of service, and you really can't go wrong. If you're looking at it to be the big money maker, that's usually where things go awry. But if you're looking to be a provider of services, a provider of a space of joy and community, that's generally where that success will come from. So yeah, just do it and make it happen. And again, we'll provide a lot of those links in the description below. And like they said, look forward to next year's block party. But more importantly, we got that September 27th gala fast approaching, and you definitely want to be in space. So again, thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you next time.